So let's just go ahead and go over the several Star Wars things that we've gotten this year. So far, we've gotten Tales of the Underworld, which was really good. I still have yet to watch the other 3 episodes. I know I'm falling behind, and I'm aware of that. We got the Rebuild the Galaxy Season 2. Still haven't seen that. I just need to go through and just binge, like, all these one night. I really need to do that. I'm gonna have to do that, like, on one of my weekends where I can sleep in. And then we also have the Bad Batch book, which I have been listening to. I am listening to it slowly. I've gotten through a couple chapters, and it's been really good. I think it's so funny hearing the narrator do Omega's voice because it's a guy, and so he's trying to get, like, super high up to do Omega's voice, and it's super funny to hear. And I listen to it a lot whenever I run, and so whenever I'm running, all I hear, like, whenever I hear his voice, I just start breaking out laughing, and I, like, am like, oh my word. I wonder what the other people that are running next to me honestly think. Like, are they like, is she okay? And I just have to be like, so, like, it's just my audiobook and a guy trying to do a really high-pitched girl's voice, because it's super funny. And I also love, like, how, like, spoilers, I also love, like, how, the mission, like, it plays out. Like, we start in the mission that they're in, and then we go back before the mission, and then we jump back to the mission, which I thought was really good. Like, we start, Hunter is in the kitchen, and he does not like that because he's being bossed around. And, like, Tech and Omega both have to remind him, like, Hunter, you have to blend in, you can't get mad, you know, blend in, follow the droids, and he doesn't like it, because it's an astromech that's telling him what to do, and he's like, I don't want to be bossed around by a droid. And Tech's like, I know, I'm sorry, but get over it. Hunter is valet, and then Tech and Phee are pretending to be a couple. Pretending. Because I know that they were never really a thing, like, in the show. Like, there were hints, but it was never, like, you know, they're together. But in the book, she's flirting with him all the dang time, and he's flirting back, which I think is funny. And he's like, I get this funny feeling when I'm around her, and I'm like, dude. Which I thought was funny. Like, they brought that into this book. So that way, like, fans could have their obsession taken care of, I guess. And I thought that was funny, how they, like, brought that in. And we're like, well, here you guys go. You know, it played off really well in the series. Here you go. Which I thought was really funny. And, like, later in the book, as the mission continues, Omega sneaks to the backstage, and she sneaks in and, like, starts stealing stuff. I love how Fee's like, get whatever the heck you can get. And I also think it's funny how Fee's droid, the program that they were running, Tech was like, I think we should go over, like, before in the book, he's like, I feel like we should go over this again, like, and I can update the program, because I don't think it's going to work. And Fee's like, oh, it'll be fine, Tech, like, in her accent, and, you know, he trusts her a lot, so he's like, okay, you know, I trust you. But the code ends up getting them caught, because the code keeps stealing money out of other people's accounts, and that's how they were able to keep bidding, was they were taking small amounts out of the other group's accounts, like, enough that they could keep bidding on the items that were for sale, because they were at an auction, but not enough that it would be noticeable. And so they kept doing that, but this program just started taking loads and loads and loads of money out of everyone's account until everyone's account was denied except for theirs. And then at that point, they were caught. And so at that point, Fee's just like, whatever the heck you have, Omega, run. And so she does, meets up with Hunter, Wrecker, who's working valet, steals their ship and gets it out, and then they're out of there. And then Phee tells them, and she's like, Hunter, I have another mission that's going to pay really well. You know, it's on the way, let's do it. And he's like, no. And she's like, too bad, I've already said the world would be coming. So that's where I'm at right now. And it's just been so funny. I thought that was really funny how Phee was just like, too bad, we're going anyway, kind of attitude. And I also think it's funny how Phee through the entire night of, like, the auction is just like, brown eyes, you look really good in that suit. And it's just like, it really matches with your eyes. It's like, yeah, you dressed him. You did that on purpose. And I still can't get over Omega's voice, like, whenever they do it. Because, like, he has every other voice really good. Even Fee's is really good. But then he does Omega's, and it's a female child. So it's going to be difficult to do because the voice is high. And I just think it's so funny whenever he does it. I just keep laughing so hard. And then another thing that we got was we also got the Bad Batch comics, which I started reading the first one several months ago. I haven't kept up with those either. I really just need a binge of just Star Wars stuff because I have not done that yet and I really need to. But it's been really interesting. I really liked the first one and where it went. The ending was really interesting, and so I really just need to go through and like do those two. And I love having the gang back together. Like, I love the missions because the comics are focused on missions before they met Omega and before we met them in the Clone Wars. And then the book is about saving Pabu after the disaster, after the typhoon. And then the book is going on with Omega, is the different missions that they do in between that episode and the episode we have of, the episode that we have of, like, the typhoon or tsunami, and then to trying to get Crosshair rescued and Tech dying. So those are the missions that are between those, which I really like. But then the comics are based before the Clone Wars, so it's all the missions that they went on, or not all, but some of the missions that they went on before we met them in the Clone Wars. I can't talk today. Which I really thought that was interesting, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the different aspects of it, and it really reminds me of just how much I miss the Bad Batch. I really need to go through and binge that again. Rebels is something that I do that with. I binge it pretty much every single year in December. Normally if I'm working on like a Christmas project, because I do a lot of handmade decorations, or handmade gifts, too. So normally while I'm going through and like I'm painting those or something like that, I will listen to I will put on Rebels or something like that. So I honestly probably should do that, like rotate between the Bad Batch and Rebels in December. I might do that, because I know, like, I also, don't get me wrong, I love my Christmas movies and all that, and I love Christmas shows and that kind of thing, but I also have a Star Wars obsession that I need to feed. But yeah, it feels really good to be back on here. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and as always, God bless. Bye, guys.